Hi, I'm Paul Torgerson. It's Friday, December 7th, 2018, a day to remember. And this is a look at the information security news from overnight. From threatpost.com, WordPress sites are being targeted in a series of attacks tied to a 20,000 botnet-strong army of infected WordPress sites. Behind the WordPress on WordPress assault is a widespread brute force password attack leveraged through a Russian proxy provider and targeting an application program interface, or API, specifically the XML RPC API that developers use to link apps to WordPress sites. This same API suffered a similar brute force attack back in 2015. More details in the ThreatPost article. From Security Magazine, the Transportation Security Administration, TSA, released its security roadmap, which will guide efforts to prioritize cybersecurity measures within TSA and across the transportation systems sector. The roadmap stresses risks to critical cyber as well as physical transportation infrastructure. According to TSA Administrator David Pekoski, because the consequences of both physical and cyber attacks can be equally damaging, we must be prepared to respond to cyber threats with the same level of success as we do when faced with physical threats. You can link to that roadmap from the Security Magazine website or the TSA website. From Security Week, a bit of an update for you on the 500 million account hack that Marriott suffered. Sources said the hackers left behind some clues suggesting that the attack was part of an intelligence gathering operation conducted by the Chinese government. This is based on the use of specific tools, techniques, and procedures known to be associated with Chinese threat actors. However, some of those tools are widely available to other bad actors as well. The potential involvement of the Chinese government in the breach suggests that the goal was espionage rather than financial gain. Marriott has refused to comment, and the Chinese government has said, "We don't do cyber attacks." From ZDNet, ESET has discovered 21 new Linux malware families, all of which are Trojanized versions of OpenSSH server or client apps that include keylogger and backdoor capabilities. Although Linux is a much more secure operating system compared to the more widely used Windows, it is not impervious to misconfigurations and malware infections. Over the past decade, the number of malware families targeting Linux has grown, but the total number of threats is still orders of magnitude less than those attacking their Windows brethren. This smaller number of threats has resulted in cybersecurity firms paying much less attention to the Linux malware ecosystem, making it no surprise that some malware families have only now been discovered after operating unseen for more than 4 years. You can get the full nitty-gritty in the ZDNet article. And last today from ThreatPost, Facebook has found itself embroiled in yet another data privacy scandal. The new internal documents released this week showed the social media giant promoting and trying to keep secret the collection of call logs and texts for Android app users. A slew of internal documents was dumped this week by a committee of UK lawmakers who were investigating Facebook's role in fake news. The document that has users up in arms revolves around Facebook's alleged attempts to cover up changes to its Android policies that would allow its app to collect a record of calls and texts by users without alerting them. More information in the ThreatPost article, including a link to those 250 pages of documents. And that is all I have for you this week. Have a fantastic weekend, and until Monday, be safe out there.